7. Please do not show up at a medical center or hospital, as this may put others at risk. Take care with waste. If you test positive, your waste should be double bagged and disposed of separately. Create a buddy system. If you live on your own, you can plan with friends and family to check in with each other and run essential errands if one becomes sick. Once sick, they should leave groceries on the doorstep. Why it's important. COVID-19 causes a mild illness for 4 out of 5 persons. Self-isolating will help protect the older generation and those who may have underlying health problems from getting infected. 5 things you need to know about self-isolation. Stay home. If you are told to self-isolate, it means staying at home, not going to work, school, or other public places, and you should not have any visitors. Separate yourself. If you live with others, then you need to stay in a well-ventilated bedroom with the door shut. If you have to share a bathroom, then use it after everyone else. Don't share towels and toiletries, as this may put others at risk. Call ahead. If you develop symptoms such as a fever or cough, then seek advice first by calling the Ministry of Health's hotline at 538-4787 or 458-4787. Please do not show up at a medical center or hospital, as this may put others at risk. Take care with waste. If you test positive, your waste should be double bagged and disposed of separately. Create a buddy system. If you live on your own, you can plan with friends and family to check in with each other and run essential errands if one becomes sick. Once sick, they should leave groceries on the doorstep. Why it's important. COVID-19 causes a mild illness for 4 out of 5 persons. Self-isolating will help protect the older generation and those who may have underlying health problems from getting infected. COVID-19.
All right. Grenada, Carrico, PD Monig, and the rest of the world, how are you doing? My name is Mikey Hutchinson, and I'm so happy to be back with you for another day, people. This is News Discussed, Not Told. Welcome to another Mikey Live program, people. This is not a stoosh program where we sit down and we talk like blah, 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 blah. If you're looking for that, there are places for that. That is not what we're about here. Here we are about information. Accurate information, in fact, relevant information, action, suspense, and drama. It's like a movie from out of Hollywood. You get everything here, man. So brace all yourself. I hope all you had a good day and dinner. Let's take a look at the headlines and see what's there for us today. Now, the RGPF to host press conference on Wednesday, and of course, we'll be there to ask your questions. All right. Saturday shopping day, not an affront to any religion. Now, The deadline for pay and gaming tax extended to Thursday, April 30th, 2020. As well, Prime Minister reiterates call for compliance with the 24-hour curfew. Grenada shook by 2 tremors within 24 hours. The RGPF, they are looking to make changes to shopping days. Now, as we move on, we'll talk about R. Kelly. Denied coronavirus release from federal jail. All right, and the Prime Minister in St. Lucia reduces a curfew, opens up supermarkets in St. Lucia. All right, so of course, we're going to talk about that and more when we return on tonight's program. Earlier, this is Mikey Live. Brace all yourself. When we come back, it's going to be real news in all the little. And for the people who are with us for the first time, don't make it your last. Come back on the thing, man. And for those of you who are here all the time, the usual suspects, hello to you as well. So folks, we are coming back. Gotta let you know that the headlines was brought to you through the kind compliments of the Communal Cooperative Credit Union. We are also brought to you by Nawasa and Digicel. We will be back.
Despite the situation we now face, one thing is for certain. We will get through this together. As much as we are a part of your community, you are a part of who we are. Let's take care of each other during this time, as we always do. And soon, we know that with the dawn of that new day, all of this will be over, and our land will once again be healed. In the meantime, stay safe. Know that we're here for you. Courts, bringing value home.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
for me and you.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. What a wonderful world.
Are you planning an event or looking to rent tents? Then call the tent experts at Waggy T Tent Rentals. We rent tents for all occasions. Tents in different colors, styles, and 25 different sizes. From as little as 10 by 10 to as large as 100 by 40. Call us at 439-TENT. That's 439-8368. Or visit our office at Frequente Industrial Park, Brannan, St. George. We are Grenada's tent people.
We enjoy the luxury of a quality water supply. But it can come to this. Have adequate storage.
At Communal, we are adapting to meet the changing needs of our shareholders and members. Times are changing, and with the changing times comes a whole new way to do business. Our parents may have done their banking a different way. Communal's state-of-the-art online banking and international debit card allows members to do business with great ease. It's like literally having a branch in your very own hands. Need a loan? Apply online from the comfort of your own home anywhere in the world, and your request will be dealt with remotely. Want to transfer between your accounts or another shareholder? No wait time for transactions to update. Voila! Who needs receipts when you can receive them via e-statements on your mobile device and save the environment? Not a Communal member? You can join our family today by applying online. At Communal, we see you working hard to ensure that you save, invest, and grow. Communal, join us today. This will be the best financial decision you have ever made. My name is Hollis Mr. Killamap, and I endorse this message.
All right, it will be the best decision that you've ever made. I'm a member of the Communal Credit Union, and boy, yeah, man, you know, when you feel broke and thing, and they're going to call a credit union, and you're feeling like it's somebody else's account number, they get it in. They say, what's now, I have $5 there. They call it, they say, 5, man, you have 5,000. Yeah, because they have this way of getting you to save, man, even when you're not even thinking. And at hard times, yeah, boy, what I tell you. Anyway, we're moving on. So the first thing that we have to tell you, boy, we like to give you notices early. Now, the National Water and the Sewage Authority, NAWASA, wishes to advise the following consumers that in an effort to ensure equitable distribution of the limited supply from the Les Avocats water system, the water supply will be valve regulated effective Wednesday, April 8th, that is tomorrow. All right. Now, the places affected are Monjulu, Richmond Hill, Bailey's Hill, Defu, Creighton, White Gun, Marion, and that includes like Lida, Coconut Wharf, and Coco Road. All right. Now, you get your supply of water 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. and that's going to happen until further notice. Now, please be advised that the information provided is based solely on the current water levels and is expected to change without prior notice depending on the availability of supply. Now, daily, NAWASA continues to monitor all water systems and their capacity to meet demands and will keep affected customers and consumers fully aware of their supply status as information becomes available. NAWASA is committed to meeting the needs of every customer. However, individuals, you are also reminded of your personal responsibility to ensure that you collect and store a minimum of 35 gallons of water per person per day for a 3-day period, taking into consideration the needs of your household and pets. The current projections for the remainder of the dry season will certainly bring additional stress for all water systems, and others may be added to the list without prior notice given. All right? And so that's a notice from NAWASA. So I want to take a moment of the program tonight to say happy World Health Day to all persons of the health sector, whether you're a nurse or you're a doctor, you're a midwife, whatever role you play, even if you're the janitor in the health industry. We here on the program as the team at Digital Media Solutions and as well our viewers would like to say thank you for serving us over the years, and we look forward to continued good relationship with you, the persons of the medical profession. Happy World Health Day to all, and the Grenada Nurses Association as well wishes all the same. All right, good. All you. The Royal Grenada Police Force, they will be hosting a press conference on Wednesday, April 8th, 2020 to discuss the current police operations and implementations for the new regulations, and that will be at 8:30 a.m. You can log on to the Royal Grenada Police Force's Facebook page, and they usually do a little live on there, at least so that persons will have a real-time access to that press conference. So that will be at 8:30 tomorrow, Wednesday, God's willing. Now, the government of Grenada is assuring the population that the announcement of Saturday, April 11th as the next shopping day is not meant as an affront to any religion. They say that COVID-19 response coordinator Dr. George Mitchell explained that the decision is based purely on scientific modeling, which puts the contacts of those who have tested positive near the end of their 14-day period of exposure. Dr. Mitchell said it is therefore critical to ensure that there is sustained control in the next few days to minimize the potential spread of the virus. So earlier he's saying that in no way is the authorities meant on disrespecting anyone of the religious community.
With all due respects to our folks who are Seventh-day Adventists, and just so that you know, that is a religion that I have a lot of respect for. As a matter of fact, I grew up in that faith, and the serious consideration was not given to open on a Saturday to disrespect any religion per se, but we just thought that it was the period that we needed to ensure that we had a hold on, so that we could have opened up. But I think that was the decision. COP?
I believe the committee, when there were discussion today, I was not part of the committee discussion, so I assume I'll get some report on this later. But I think that point is understood, and we will certainly be looking at ways in which we can deal with this, because it is a concern, and we don't want any religious community to feel marginalized or dealt on an even hand by any decision that we take, because we value the religious community and the role they're playing in helping us in this very crucial period that we face.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mitchell, and thank you very much, Dr. Mitchell. Two Mitchells. Two Dr. Mitchells, in fact. Now that Grenada has the ability to test samples, Dr. Mitchell says it is also important that this period is used to conduct additional tests, which would help to provide a better appreciation for where we are with regards to the fight against the COVID-19. All right? So all you, let's just see what happens for the next few days. All right? These are critical times. These are some serious times. Good. Now, the Inland Revenue Department wishes to advise the general public that the deadline for filing and the paying of pay and the gaming tax are extended to Thursday, April 30th, 2020. Now, during this extended period, the IRD will be arranging to facilitate payments from taxpayers who are desirous of fulfilling their tax obligations prior to the new deadline. Now, please note also that the IRD is working feverishly to have its e-service payment platform up and running. The division expresses gratitude for your understanding during this difficult period and encourages all its taxpayers to remain safe as we continue to work towards together to fight the COVID-19. No, take all the time, you know. Take all the time. No rush, you know what I mean? You know, just make sure, you know, check some balances, make sure you take all the time. You don't miss nothing. You want to check again, and then still go back and check again. No rush, take all the time, you know. We understand. We know, yeah, we know. Yeah, I mean? Take all the time. Okay, we are moving on. So, order. The next thing that we have to tell all about is Prime Minister and Minister for National Security, Dr. Mitchell. Keith Mitchell has reiterated the call for compliance with the 24-hour curfew and the accompanying regulations. Now, during a press conference on Monday evening, in which he announced the extension of the curfew to 7 a.m. on April 20th, 2020, Dr. Mitchell said, government must continue to take actions in the interest of public safety and public health to safeguard you, the citizens of this country, our greatest asset. All right, so he says earlier, ting, right? Good. We post it on our website so you could go check it out. And all the silly things, so I had to go through the whole business. Earlier, last night, boy, man, sit down there and just after I left and thing, you know what I mean? Man watching a little, how they call it, a little kung fu. Brrr, the place start to shake. You know what I mean? I hear some people go to right in it. Magnitude 5.3 quake shook some people's houses. In fact, many of the parishes in Grenada reported feeling the quake. You understand? Look at where it was located. This was the location of the quake, so you would understand a 5.3 in that proximity to us. Of course, we're going to feel that. Located latitude 11.55 degrees north and longitude 61.7 west at a depth of 10 kilometers. That will put it 93 kilometers southeast of St. George's, Grenada. You understand? Yeah, boy, people say, whoa, boy, you know what I mean? Place shaking, boy, earthquake, earthquake. Of course, there were no reports of any damage to property or any injuries to person. So that's good. For some reason, you know, nothing much doesn't happen. When we get them, they can shake on them, and shake, 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 shake. But as if that wasn't enough, again this morning, people. This time it was of a lesser magnitude. It was a 4.3 magnitude quake at latitude 11.555 degrees north. So you understand where they're located, close. 11.55 degrees north and longitude 62.10 west at a depth of 58 kilometers. That will put it just 67 kilometers southwest of St. George's, Grenada. So 2 in a row. Yeah, I mean, if you have another one between now and tomorrow, it's a hat trick. You know what I mean? But I'm happy that at least there's no injuries. No such, All people say is they feel the shake, they thought Jesus coming. You know what I mean? Jesus will come in, so when Jesus coming, he'll come in Nassau. Anyway, let that talk, eh? All of you. Anyway, there you go. Let me shaking up. Just know, not so. God will come in so. No shortage of food in Grenada. No. Yesterday, there was some degree of anxiety that was detected among shoppers, among citizens of Grenada, and the persons were wondering what was happening. And so, because of the unknowns, more questions than answers, people went out on shop. There were speculations that probably we are running out of food. Probably some of the foods are perishable food and stuff like that, and it needs to go. People say all kind of stuff. But one thing that is common, people think that at some point we will run out of food, and that time is drawing really near. The Prime Minister last evening said he would say it and reiterate there is no imminent shortage of food in Grenada.
I also wish to assure you that from the standpoint of our suppliers, our grocery store owners, and the Ministry of Agriculture, that we are not facing an imminent shortage of food. I want to repeat, we are not facing an imminent shortage of food. Because I get the impression that some of us believe this is the last day to get some items. So I really urge you not to behave as if this is the last day that food will be available. There is, from all reports, there is enough supply out there if we all are disciplined enough to get it when we need it.
But Dr. Mitchell, we home, so we eating more. You go see some of us when we come out there, we go wrong like a ball, But Dr. Mitchell, we stress, and when we stress, we eating more. So when back in the day, a certain amount of supply would last the nation for a certain amount of time. Now that we home, Dr. Mitchell, we eating more food. So you have to put that into consideration. And if you still feel that, we don't have no thing, then come back and tell us, you know what I mean? But go and consider that. Go and consider how you saw some people getting wide. You know what I mean? Lad, so people eat, listen, man, so people eating and sleep. What? If you go on social media to find out, okay, what has changed so far? A lot of people saying they're eating a lot. A lot of people saying they're sleeping a lot. But anyway, a body in motion stays in motion, and a body at rest stays at rest. That's how it works. All right. So if you find you sleeping a lot, yes, because your body is in rest mode, long time. You understand? And you needed it. You didn't realize you were so tired. You needed it. You understand? Anyway, we're going. The RGPF, they are looking to make changes to the shopping days. Of course, the Commissioner of Police say that they are revisiting some of the strategies because he would have seen some challenges, some things that worked, and they experimented on some things. Some things worked, and some things didn't. So they say that they are going to go back to the drawing board and take a look at some of these things and make changes and would update the public accordingly.
As it relates to that question, next time, the next shopping day, I should indicate, will be Saturday. But certainly you will have significant changes to that. My observation for what transpired today, certainly we cannot continue with that formula. So we will be revisiting how we allow this, whether you're going to have shopping and fueling taking place at the same day, and whether we have all the sectors receiving fuel, etc., on the same day as well. So tentatively, the next shopping day, not tentatively, the next shopping day will be Saturday, but we're likely to have some movement between now and then in order to mitigate the impact and minimize the inconveniences and challenges that we face today. We have also realized that doing the restocking on the days that are shopping may not be the best option. We need to make sure that the shops are well stocked before shopping days. So going forward, we will revisit that as well, because the shop is empty and the trucks are now leaving St. George's to bring up supplies. It makes no sense. So we definitely will look at revisiting how we do the time for the supplies to come out, that when we do shopping days, all the shops and supermarkets, mini-marts, etc., should be properly stocked. And the crisis of waiting for stuff to come up should be a thing of the past and should not happen again.
All right, so I agree. Should now come on it out? All right, good. Right, I agree. These things should be revisited. Now, on that note, suppliers and supply vehicles, you are now informed and advised that you are permitted to operate tomorrow, Wednesday 8th and Thursday 9th April 2020, to resupply shops that sell groceries, grocery stores, and supermarkets across the island. Again, suppliers and supply vehicles, you are permitted to operate tomorrow, Wednesday 8th and Thursday 9th April 2020, to resupply shops that sell groceries, grocery stores, and supermarkets across the island. Please be guided accordingly. And don't call me and ask me nothing. Please be guided accordingly. So yes, you are permitted. You know, people ask a lot of questions, but what? And we are happy to answer them for you. But how are we looking for time? Okay, so there are some fishermen that went missing. If you know that you are a fisherman and you didn't go home for the past 9 days, go home, because tomorrow your name calling on the program. So we're just taking the steps necessary now, because I don't want to say things that is inaccurate. I was asked to say that some fishermen are missing and call their names and show their pictures, but probably they might be at a different location and the family just doesn't know and stuff like that. So I'm just saying now, if you're a fisherman and you haven't gone home in a while because of the curfew or whatever the case is, please call your family or go home, because your family, they're concerned about your well-being. All right? If you haven't touched base with your family for more than a week, then it might be a good time to so do, so that you don't end up on a missing persons report. That being said, yesterday, the Prime Minister stated that they are looking into bringing in Grenadians who are stuck out at sea. The seafarers who has been out at sea for quite a while, yes, since the locking down of our ports and other ports as well. And we have been contacted by quite a bit of these people who are out there. And the question was asked last night of the Prime Minister as to whether or not there are plans in place to have these people return home. His answer to that is yes. All right, so I'm at least happy to know that we are heading in that direction. While everyone is still keeping their ports of entry locked down tight and attempting to keep things tight within the islands, we see a trend coming out of St. Lucia, where the Prime Minister there, Alan Chastney, they are allowing people to shop. They have decided to open up supermarkets and things for a little while, just like how we are doing, right? So as to allow some of the people there to at least do some shopping and so on, all right? We will now move over to St. Lucia for that report, and then when we come back, we have one more thing to tell you. Then, you know, we take a break and then we send you into the national report. Here is a special report from St. Lucia.
St. Lucians will be allowed to venture out to the supermarkets to purchase groceries as of Tuesday, April 7th, 2020. Bakeries were permitted to conduct delivery services on Monday, April 6th, while groceries replenished inventory on shelves in anticipation of opening their doors to customers. Prime Minister Alan Shastney announced in a televised address to the nation on Sunday, April 5th, 2020, that the 24-hour curfew will be scaled back to 10 hours this week to allow citizens time to stock up on goods. Banks and gas stations will be opened. However, Shastney stressed that there will be strict stipulations and enforcement on social distancing.
We're going to reduce the curfew from a 24-hour curfew to a 10-hour curfew, which will be from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. So that's going to start 5 a.m. on Tuesday morning, all the way through to Easter Monday. We're going to allow all services provided in SI 44. So basically, we'll allow the services to operate on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Sorry, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, yes. We'll be able to operate from 7 to 4 p.m. They will be closed on Friday, which is Good Friday, and will also be closed on Sunday, which is Easter Sunday.
Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belmar George explains mitigation measures such as the lockdown and quarantine have assisted in tracking down through contact tracing people who may have been exposed to the infectious disease. She advises strict compliance with sanitary guidelines, including the wearing of masks at retail supermarkets.
Ensure every customer entering the store has a face mask and sanitized hands. Manage the queuing of customers outside of the store to ensure safe distancing, no less than 6 feet. They will have internal controls to avoid hoarding of items. Ensure adequate systems and resources to move customers in an efficient manner. Distributors will work closely with local community stores island-wide to ensure adequate supply of goods. Distributors and retailers to encourage and facilitate online and direct delivery providers and shoppers. The enforcement of stricter protocols governing the use of transport carrying supermarket and essential services.
Only 2 members of a family will be allowed to enter grocery stores to shop. Moreover, the Prime Minister announced the introduction of zones and the quota of commuters in passenger cars to mitigate the spread of COVID-19.
Only 2 people will be allowed to be in a private vehicle at any one time. I would like to say to you that the police will be monitoring and enforcing the zoning. And one of the things that they'll be using is they'll be using road checks and checking your driver's license to ensure that you're remaining in the zone that you are residing in. The police will be patrolling when supermarkets are reopened to ensure compliance of the COVID-19 and the social distancing health protocols. So again, the police will be working with the business community to make sure that there will be strict enforcement of these protocols.
The head of government stressed that the nationwide lockdown is not over and St. Lucians must observe the curfew, stay at home and practice social distancing to flatten the epidemic curve of COVID-19. This message was echoed by the Chief Medical Officer.
We continue to advise the public to stay at home. Only leave for essential purposes, such as medical emergencies. Avoid mass crowd events and social gatherings. Although we've opened up a bit, Mass gatherings are still banned.
Thank you very much. Speaking of that, I know that quite a number of persons were arrested in St. John today. How many? Quite a bit. I think the people. Is that St. John? Like the border of St. John and St. Mark, all right? It was like 9, 10. About it was quite a bit. Yeah, it was quite a bit. I'll find out from the police what that was all about, though. All right? I'll find out from them what that was about. All right? Okay. So, we are moving on. The next thing that we have to tell you about, boy, the man himself, R. Kelly. You know he's been having a lot of trouble, right? He's been trying since he was locked up, all kind of thing to get out of jail, but all these things are failing. A Brooklyn federal judge ruled on Tuesday that the R&B singer accused of making sex tapes with underage girls and knowingly transmitting herpes to some sexual partners must remain in federal jail in Chicago despite the pandemic because he is not high risk if he does contract it. All right? So he, R. Kelly, was trying to get out on that basis, but it failed. So he has to stay in jail. Okay, folks, what we got to do right now is take a break and come back. And when we do so, we've got for you the national report. For those of you who have not yet done so, we encourage you to share the program.
At Communal, we are adapting to meet the changing needs of our shareholders and members. Times are changing, and with the changing times comes a whole new way to do business. Our parents may have done their banking a different way. Communal's state-of-the-art online banking and international debit card allows members to do business with great ease. It's like literally having a branch in your very own hands. Need a loan? Apply online from the comfort of your own home anywhere in the world, and your request will be dealt with remotely. Want to transfer between your accounts or another shareholder? No wait time for transactions to update. Voila! Who needs receipts when you can receive them via e-statements on your mobile device and save the environment? Not a Communal member? You can join our family today by applying online. At Communal, we see you working hard to ensure that you save, invest, and grow. Communal, join us today. This will be the best financial decision you have ever made. My name is Hollis, Mr. Killamap, and I endorse this message.
Despite the situation we now face, one thing is for certain. We will get through this together. As much as we are a part of your community, you are a part of who we are. Let's take care of each other during this time, as we always do. And soon, we know that with the dawn of that new day, all of this will be over, and our land will once again be healed. In the meantime, stay safe. Know that we're here for you. Courts, bringing value home.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
for me and you.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. What a wonderful world.
We enjoy the luxury of a quality water supply. But it can come to this. Have adequate storage.
Experience convenient and affordable learning with online and blended higher education programs from the UWI Open Campus. Access our quality assured degrees, diplomas, and continuing and professional education programs at a pace designed to suit your lifestyle. Ask about our prior learning assessment, which credits previous learning experience and fast tracks the completion of your degree. Own your future. Apply today. For more information, visit www.open.uwi.edu. The UWI Open Campus, opening doors to life-changing learning.
To deal with season and the current demand for constant hand washing, you require adequate water storage. Tough times require smart solutions. Invest in a water tank that meets the needs of you and your family. Visit On The Spot Hardware and select the tank that suits your needs. Don't have the cash? No problem. Talk to us about the alternative payment option. And don't forget, we deliver right to your doorstep. On The Spot Hardware, the rock where all solid foundations begin.
Are you looking to rent chairs and tables? Then call Waggy T Rentals. We rent tables and chairs for any event. We have 7 different types of chairs: plastic, folding chairs, grey and white, resin white chairs, conference chairs, even Chivari chairs in gold and white. We also rent 6 feet and 8 feet rectangular folding tables, 4 feet and 5 feet round tables, and even cocktail tables. Give us a call at 444-RENT. That's 444-7368. Or visit our office at Frequente Industrial Park, Grand St. George.
Alrighty, folks. Well, thank you for joining us again. And now we have for you the favorite part of the program, your National Report.
Prime Minister reiterates call for compliance with the 24-hour curfew. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, April 7th, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. Prime Minister and Minister for National Security, Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, has reiterated the call for compliance with the 24-hour curfew and the accompanying regulations. On Monday evening, the Prime Minister announced the extension of the curfew to 7 a.m. on April 20th, 2020. A limited state of emergency was instituted on March 16, and this was upgraded on March 30th to a mandatory state of emergency with a mandatory 24-hour curfew for the Tri-Island state. Prime Minister Mitchell says the extension of the curfew is in the best interest of every Grenadian.
It is not an easy decision to make, but your government is convinced that having regard to the medical experts and the reports, that the action your government is taking is in the best interest of the people of our country. We continue to see the stark images and hear the horror stories from around the world. As countries grapple with the devastating effects of COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, we must continue to take actions in the best interests of public safety and the public health, and to safeguard you, the people and citizens of this country.
Previously, 3 days were designated during the curfew for shopping. However, with the latest announcement, the next shopping day will be on Saturday. Dr. Mitchell says images circulating on social media of long lines during this period is heart-wrenching. He gave the assurance that Grenada is not facing a shortage of food.
From the standpoint of our suppliers, our grocery store owners, and the Ministry of Agriculture, that we are not facing an imminent shortage of food. I want to repeat, we are not facing an imminent shortage of food. Because I get the impression that some of us believe this is the last day to get some items. So I really urge you not to behave as if this is the last day that food will be available. There is, from all reports, there is enough supply out there. It is no comfort to me and members of your government to watch you in long lines at the supermarket. It is painful for me and for those of us in government.
Grenada now has the capability to perform testing for the COVID-19. This means that results can be provided in a shorter period. Making the announcement during a press conference on Monday, COVID-19 response coordinator Dr. George Mitchell said the machinery has been approved and coordination is in place for testing through the collaborative efforts of St. George's University and lab technicians at the General Hospital.
Yes, apart from today, we are in a position to do testing in Grenada. And I want to repeat, we are in a position to do testing in Grenada. All of the preliminary work and the preliminary logistics have been put in place. I have been in contact with the folks at SGU who, in collaboration with our lab techs at the hospital, have done the run or the reruns of those machines that are testing. All the controls have been done, and so to speak, we are ready to go.
Prior to this local testing capacity, Grenada relied on the testing services provided by the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPHA, which is based in Trinidad and Tobago.
This is good news for us. We will have the ability, once samples are collected, that we can run them and have the results in the same day. So I wanted to let the nation know that. And suffice to say that we have to say a really, really big thank you to the Pan American Health Organization, to CARPHA, to St. George's University, and to WINDREF for this collaboration with the government and people of Grenada.
Supermarkets and grocery stores on the sister island of Carriacou have been restocked. 2 cargo vessels left the mainland on Monday evening with goods and fresh produce from farmers. Goods were cleared from these vessels on Tuesday 7th to facilitate the restocking of grocery shops and supermarkets. In this regard, the Cabinet of Grenada, during its meeting on Monday, approved Wednesday, April 8th as a limited shopping day for Carriacou and Petite Martinique between 8 a.m. and 12 noon. Acting Commissioner of Police Edwin Martin says the RGPF is continuing to work on improving logistics to enable approved cargo vessels to transport goods to the sister isles.
The boat Amelia would have left today with supplies for Carriacou. We continue to collaborate with Carriacou, to the Minister and the Ministry of Carriacou, to meet the needs peculiar to Carriacou needs. And today, certainly, I know I had to give passes to a number of farmers to get to bring produce onto the boat in order that Carriacou can have adequate supply. So I believe that the Amelia should be carrying up supplies for Carriacou today, and probably in Carriacou already as we speak, maybe, depending on the time of departure.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
Protect yourself and our community from COVID-19. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. If soap and water are not available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with at least 70% alcohol. Use a tissue when blowing your nose, sneezing, or coughing. Immediately discard the tissue properly and wash or sanitize your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Let's do our part to ensure that each and every Grenadian remains healthy. To stay up to date, visit the Government of Grenada's webpage or the Ministry of Health's Facebook page. For more information, contact the Ministry of Health's hotline by calling 53-VIRUS. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by the Ministry of Health.
Continuing the news, the government of Grenada is assuring the population that the announcement of Saturday, April 11th as the next shopping day is not meant as an affront to any religion. COVID-19 response coordinator Dr. George Mitchell explains that the decision is based purely on scientific modeling, which puts the contacts of those who have tested positive near the end of their 14-day period of exposure. Dr. Mitchell says it is therefore critical to ensure that there is sustained control in the next few days to minimize potential spread of the virus. Now that Grenada has the ability to test samples, he says it is also critical that this period is used to conduct additional tests.
We think that during the next few days, once we are able to test those contacts who are left, whose periods of time have not elapsed the 14 days, if we can test them, we can get a very good appreciation of where we are.
Meanwhile, positive discussions are being held with a view to adding another shopping day. An announcement on this will be forthcoming. The Royal Grenada Police Force has established a secretariat to process and approve applications from businesses and individuals for exemption passes. Superintendent Vanny Kerwin, who is in charge of the RGPF's Community Relations Department, says applications will now be processed more efficiently. Grenadians were asked to apply to the RGPF for exemption passes upon the closure of business on March 30th, when the mandatory curfew was announced. The passes give permission for travel for essential workers and approved businesses during the curfew hours. Superintendent Vanny Kerwin says the volume of applications received since the start of the curfew has exceeded expectations.
When we started the application process, we never expected that amount of application. We were overwhelmed by the amount of application we have received. And therefore, what we started to do was having a few people process the application. Recognizing the amount or the volume of application that has been coming in, we set up a secretariat. And so there are a few people who are dedicated and assigned just to be able to process those applications. Notwithstanding that, we get hundreds of applications on a daily basis.
District heads are now tasked with processing the applications to expedite the process.
The Secretariat is responsible for designing, approving, and making passes available. What they have done, realizing the volume of applications we're having, is that they start to delegate some of this responsibility to the divisions. So the Commissioner made it very clear that divisional headquarters like Grenville for the St. Andrews area, Gove for the western area, and Central Police Station for the Central Division. These commanders now have the authority to approve some of these applications to ensure that we reach the public as quickly as we can. In some cases, applications can be approved in 24 hours. In some cases, it is much longer than that, depending on the volume that come in on any particular day. So there is no set time, but we make an effort to ensure that in the shortest possible time, we can process these applications and have them in the hands of the people who are making requests for them.
And that's the National Reports. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.
Thank you very much, Leslie. And I don't know, I envy you. No, I don't. Actually, I lie. I don't envy you. All that reading, Lesbian, I don't know, man. Lesbian has a lot of reading to do every day, man. If it's not to read this, it's to read that. My brain is not going to be able to take that amount of reading, I swear. All right, so thank you, Lesbian, and the rest of the team at the GIS. And folks, we have come to the end of another program, and we invite you to join us tomorrow, God's willing, at the same time. For those of you who have not yet done so, it's free. Please go ahead and share the program so that other people will get to know that we are live. Before I go, Zaka, Irma, Shermaine, Rochelle, Camille, Shireen, Claselda, and Mel, also Sheikh Classic, big up, and who else is, Veron is there as well, and Allah is there as well, and I see that we have Kireen and Peter. Danica is with us as well. Angela is with us as well. Veron, did I say? And Rachel and Anne. Hi Anne, what's up? What's up? Allah, I see you already. Okay, and Akili and Joyous. And everyone else, man, just thank you for being here with us. Nika, I see that you're there as well, and Deborah and Vintress. Everyone else, blessings to you, all right? And to those of you who don't say anything, you're just there. You know, you're not saying anything, but you're there. We know that you're there, so we want to say thank you too for so doing. May God richly bless you and your family until we see again, and we will tomorrow, God's willing. Lintona, my mom, as well as everyone else in my family, thank you. Hey, remember, wash your hands, wash them every day. Rayburn, I see that you're there as well, and I said yes. So Rayburn and Atheline, I see that you're there as well. Okay, so let's go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we all say Ja. No. Good night, everyone, and may God richly bless you until we meet again. Good night.
COVID-19 spreads from person to person through the droplets that are produced when someone coughs or sneezes, which makes it easy to spread between people in close contact. Now let's get prepared to stay healthy.
To reduce your chance of catching or spreading COVID-19, practice these simple everyday preventative measures. Droplets can also land on surfaces, so ensure that you wash your hands frequently for a minimum of 20 seconds or sing the happy birthday song twice. Avoid touching your face, especially your eyes, nose, and mouth. If soap and water are not readily available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with an alcohol content between 60 and 90%. 70% is ideal.
When you cough or sneeze, cover your nose and mouth with a flexed elbow or a tissue. Dispose of the tissue immediately and then wash your hands. If you notice someone has a fever and cough or other symptoms of respiratory illness, avoid close contact when possible. Let's all do our part to ensure that each and every Grenadian remains healthy. Our health is our collective responsibility. 5 things you need to know about self-isolation. Stay home. If you are told to self-isolate, it means staying at home, not going to work, school, or other public places, and you should not have any visitors. Separate yourself. If you live with others, then you need to stay in a well-ventilated bedroom with the door shut. If you have to share a bathroom, then use it after everyone else. Don't share towels and toiletries, as this may put others at risk. Call ahead. If you develop symptoms such as a fever or cough, then seek advice first by calling the Ministry of Health's hotline at 538-4787 or 458-4787. Please do not show up at a medical center or hospital, as this may put others at risk. Take care with waste. If you test positive, your waste should be double bagged and disposed of separately. Create a buddy system. If you live on your own, you can plan with friends and family to check in with each other and run essential errands if one becomes sick. Once sick, they should leave groceries on the doorstep. Why it's important. COVID-19 causes a mild illness for 4 out of 5 persons. Self-isolating will help protect the older generation and those who may have underlying health problems from getting infected.